Good. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has everybody had an opportunity to read over the minutes from last month? Is there any questions, corrections? If not, I will take a motion to the secretary to
I'm
file.
sure he corrected the next meeting, regular meeting.
I'll send that back to you.
I didn't see anything. Didn't get an email. Was it email?
Yeah.
I did not see that. And I've been on it a bit.
There's another one in there. There's also another one in there where it's, I think it's under the one thing that says branded on there. It says the plan operator. It says plan operator for the sewage.
Oh, plant instead of plan. Gotcha.
Plan.
Yeah, so next meeting will be April 7th. Okay. I'll make these two corrections.
With those two corrections, any questions? Motions?
So moved.
Motion by Bill, second by Gary. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And now we're just gonna turn it over to you guys.
Yes.
We got Lucas and Nicole here for the curb and street project on Church Street.
Yep, that's correct. We got the borough, I guess, got funding from York County Planning Commission through the CDBG grant, and then also another grant, which is ARPA COVID-19 PA Small Water and Sewer. So those project areas fell in the same area along Church Street on the south side from Main Street to Mason, then Mason to Park, replacing all the ADA ramps, curb, sidewalk, driveways, and then any other, necessary work that would be required, for that immediate area. I know last month, I believe you approved Restutia Construction for a total price of $212,551. I think the ARPA storm sewer, which is just like the inlet tops and then one section of pipe. And then we also have another section of work along Maple Street for a storm sewer crossing from a head wall to an inlet, and then just that replacing the head wall there, pipe, and the inlet top. The ARPA grant was about $48,000, and the CDBG, I think we had a couple different project years. Nicole can weigh in on that and what the total amount is now.
It was 2 program years that we were drawing from, that the borough applied from. I believe both years, the grant total came to about $317,000. I'm not 100% sure on that number. But I do work for the Planning Commission. I work for the Community Development section. If you have any questions about the funding, I can help you with that. It is a grant. Like, most of the questions that I get are, do we have to pay this back? And no, it is a grant, so there's no paying it back.
Okay. Lucas,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Lucas, do you know, do you have a breakout as far as what will get paid out of the ARPA stormwater funds? Have you looked at that?
Restutia
Yeah.
at, it was, I think, I want to say like 35, 37,000 for the storm
we're good there
sewer work,
too.
and then like it was only, I think, 130 or 170,000
Okay.
for the, for the
Okay.
sidewalk,
All right. Yep.
which was, they're both well under, what the grant
Yeah,
price
yeah.
was.
Yeah, I don't know if my math is correct, Nicole. And you were really close. I have down it was 318,000
Okay.
between the two funding
Okay.
years. So, And I did share with council, I did send out letters to all the property owners that were affected. I did not get any phone calls. I did put in there's no cost to them, so.
Mhm.
Never mind, there's no one here.
There was no requirement that that public meeting be advertised, especially from the regular meeting, was there?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay. Anything else for them? No questions on the project moving forward?
It just starts whenever do we have a start date?
Not yet. Prestusha was, they're having a Monarch,
Yeah.
do the,
Inlet.
inlet tops and the head wall and there's just one section of concrete pipe at the, main street, Church Street intersection from the one manhole to the, inlet there being replaced. But whenever I hear back from them, I'll let Todd know and then
Yep.
we'll send out an email and everything.
I have a question. I know this is not near the bridge, but with that bridge work being done starting in the beginning of May, would this start date interfere with any of that going on? I mean, it's up the street, I know that, but
Yeah. It just depends on when Prestusha gets back to me with when they, need, when they can start, once they get all those structures. And then I know, like Todd and I already talked about with staging area, for them to, because contractors, you all know they like to, just keep whatever, excavator equipment here, close to the site so they're not tracking it back and forth every day. And then, of course, any material, stone structures and everything.
That would probably be the only interference
Okay.
is if they use the end of the fire hall parking lot. I did talk to the fire company, but they wanted to know what the dates were, make sure it didn't interfere with any of their events. But if that were to be the case, there's two other properties I was thinking about. I haven't talked to the owners that, on the south side of the tracks that maybe we could use, so.
Yeah, but once I hear back from Prestusha, because we have to, coordinate a pre-con meeting with Planning Commission and the Borough. So once I hear back from them, I'll let everybody else know when they can start.
thank you.
So is the planning commission going to be the manager of this project? Not,
The
Holly?
engineer, Holly's our office
Okay.
is, and I'll be doing site inspections.
so are you from Holly?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay,
I'm sorry.
okay. You're
Lucas
from
is-
planning commission.
And she's the planning commission, yes.
Mhm.
Got it.
I didn't know that either.
That's my fault.
That's
He
okay.
even gave me the paper and I didn't say it. That's my fault. Anything else for them? Good. All right,
Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
thank you very much.
See ya.
I'll stay for the engineers report. I have.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Yep.
what else you have.
Okay, that'll be great. Yeah.
Public comment,
Just a quick question.
Brandon?
Yeah, just how you making out with the fund account for the playground?
Should be able to put money in there by the end of the week.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, yep.
You send me an email, let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna address that later, but yeah,
All right, thank you.
they're working on that.
That's all I had.
All righty, then we will go right into the engineer's report.
Wait, I wanted to say something.
Public comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on up.
All right, Jessica Vallis, 22 Cherry Street, Seven Valleys, Pennsylvania, 17360. Has anybody changed their mind at all about backyard chickens? Because this is the time to start the flock and just wanting to get some chicks. And if not, there is, I don't want to ruin it for this person, but there are still chickens in the village center. So selective enforcement if they, I just don't think it's fair to,
Have you let Todd know about the chickens?
no.
Okay.
But they're still in Borough. You
Yeah.
can hear them all through the day.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a fair statement to say it's selective if we're not aware of it.
I know some people can hear them, but I'm not gonna rat them out because
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be ratted out for chickens. But anyways, just want to put it back in everyone's mind that people in town still want chickens. Thank you very much.
Thank
May
you.
I say something, Todd?
If people want chickens, why don't they come here and tell us?
They did before. They did before. I brought
Yeah,
them.
but they're the ones that had the chickens, and we said they could be in the town center, but, so they still wanted the chickens, is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Oh.
They're watching my children right now.
Okay.
Good. All right, now we'll go to the engineer's report.
Yep, the only thing for the engineer's report is South Street restoration. Dave Lipinski, the other engineer in our office, will get me he's been working on all the contract documents for bidding. I'll get that on pen bid, just get to have a couple weeks for contractors to look over it, get bids in. And then on next month's meeting, May 5th, we'll have a bid opening that morning. And then we'll have council award that evening. It's just some base repairs and then oil and chip from that Maple Street bridge to the Borough line. I'm not too sure because I haven't worked on it, what all areas, specific areas. I don't know if you have any idea what Lipinski
No,
gave you any kind of plan or anything.
no.
But he estimates that to be $95,000. So see what bids come in at.
Do you know, is he bidding that all as one project, or is he bidding the calibrate chipping separately?
I think one.
Right.
All right. Anything at the engineer's office while you're here? Okay. Thank you very much, Lucas.
Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
All right, we'll go to the solicitor's report.
Okay, as mentioned at last month's meeting, the county is requesting that we amend the intergovernmental cooperation agreement concerning the County Board of Appeals. As was authorized, we prepared the resolution to approve the amendment so that the resolution can be enacted and the amendment can be signed. This just has to do with the composition of the appeals board.
Questions on the resolution? Comments? Motions?
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Greg to approve this resolution, second by Deb. All in favor? Opposed?
Second item, there's nothing new that I've heard on anything to do with the mediation on the sewer disputes. State Police report, Sam's not here tonight, but she'll probably have the first quarter report at the next meeting. That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
All right. Zoning.
Everyone has a copy of that. You had a chance to look over it. Anything that's new since last month is in the red text. So I don't have anything specific unless anyone has any questions.
38, I don't know if that's for sale anymore. Just so you know,
Okay.
yeah, you might want to double check that.
Okay.
For sale sign came down, but there was never a sold sign put up on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm sorry, which one were you talking about?
38, Main Street.
Okay.
I saw it was pending at one point, but then I saw the pending sign disappear.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that fell
Yeah.
through or what, but all right, I'll follow up with that.
I just saw the for sale sign came down again, so.
All right.
All right. Anything else for zoning codes? Scott, anything? Fire, EMC report?
Just want to apologize for not being here for a while. We're having some family issues going on. But I did get an email from York County quarterly training. Wednesday, April the 9th from 6 to 9. They will be discussing some of the things up and coming as far as training wise, and also going over with the incident at UPMC. So if anybody wants to attend, I mean, it's a virtual meeting from, like I said, from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So if anybody wants to, get in on it, I mean, they may. So That's all I have as far as ENC.
Who's sponsoring that?
York County,
Emergency management.
yeah, emergency management.
Thank you.
And I did notice, got an email about the bridge repair, in 2 weeks.
Got to put it back to May 5th now.
May 5th.
May 5th now?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. So that's all I have. Anybody have any questions for me at all?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Regional Parks.
Todd, do you have anything to start? I have a report.
I do not.
All right, so there was no YMCA meeting this past month. The next one is tomorrow evening. I do have a report that the playground committee and Kate King met on the 5th of March here at the in this room. A couple highlights of it. I can send this to you electronically.
Oh, okay.
The York County Parks agreed to the $2,500 for the project, for the engineer, for the site plan. The site plan put together by Kate King. She handed out some brochures to some of the committee members to pick out some colors. She's working with General Recreations on some options to fit within the budget. For the next time that we meet to put things together, the community was discussing continuing their fundraising program, and Kate's working Kate's working agreement and maintenance agreement with the parks as we get along with how and who's going to maintain the equipment. And I'll clean that up and send it to you electronically.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else on the playground? All right. The Public Creek Access Feasibility Study.
On the 27th of March, Doug and I met with HRG. They had a meeting here and gave a outlined proposal of 2 access points on this creek, one being that Maple Street Bridge and the other down here at the fire hall. The connection would be 1.5 miles. They had a lot of information that they went through and said how it would be unique to York County. It's still in the development stages. They are talking to landowners to try to get permission or whatever they need to get done there. The grants were done, I guess were accepted for the engineering. They already did that because they had a pretty detailed map of what they wanted to do for parking up to like 20 cars at those places. And just to keep in mind, if something like this would come along, it's years down the road, but they're looking into it. It's an ongoing thing. It would be at this point the only trail town in York County.
Yeah. Creek Trail.
A creek trail. Yeah, a creek trail. Yeah. A creek. The Sean really did a good job, and David.
Gonzalez,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Gonzalez, yeah. They were good there.
Brandon Sayers.
They really had a nice little program that they had on that. Which, they're not dragging their feet on it, but they're going every step that needs to be taken, making sure they're doing things right. And so at this point, it's an ongoing thing. They'll keep us notified if anything comes up, and I wouldn't be surprised sometime during the year they'll come here and give us an update in person.
Okay.
Other question. Is this, what type of access is this?
It would be for canoes, kayaks, tubes.
Okay, not just for fishing, but
Yeah,
for
no,
actual
no.
travel within the creek?
That's what it would be, mainly for kayaks and tubing. Canoes, creek's a little small for a canoe, but kayaks and tubes would be,
That's kind of cool.
it is a really neat thing if something was happening. When you think of, it's only 1.5 miles, but if, you and some friends would do that and turn around, you could do it again. It's not like you're stuck on a trail. Some trails that over in Lancaster County, they're 20 miles long. And on the Connie Gwinnett,
Yeah.
and you get once you commit yourself to a path, you're stuck. I mean, you're either on there for 3 hours or an hour and a half, or you're on there for the whole day. And here, you know, it would be back and forth. And they said how too it would, you know, businesses along those trails, little stores popped up, and people, you know, like the tavern or the fire company would have a thing down here, and people said, we're going to do the trails on Saturday to have a barbecue. It just amazed how many people got on board with the activity of the canoes or the kayaks and the. And
Is this something that you could do like in a big rubber tube?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Real cool. Thank you.
And they still have, it's not out of the question that stream might go through restoration. You know, years ago, they tried to get, if you've ever been up in Centerville and LaRue and saw the walls, the barrier walls and the Rapillion walls, I guess they call them, they do that for flood control and to control the silt in the Susquehanna and the debris. Well, just because they didn't do it on that end of it doesn't mean that they won't do it in the future. I thought because it wasn't done at that time that we lost our chance to get it. But he said there's a lot of money out there for creeks to do that. It's just find landowners that want to commit to letting them transform their property. And if you ever go up there and look at that, it's really pretty amazing what it does for the creeks.
Yeah.
For everybody.
All right, thank you. The school bus stop signs.
Yeah, I just wanted to give everyone an update. I know at last meeting, council directed me to reach out to PennDOT to ask about a school bus stop sign there. Jessica requested there on Church Street. I did send that email, and just actually this morning about 7:30, I got a response. And this is from PennDOT Traffic Unit Permit Section. It says they reviewed the location to determine that it does not justify the installation of a bus stop warning sign. It states that those signs are meant to warn approaching motorists of a potential stop bus that may not be visible to the motorists for a distance of 500 feet. It does state that, you know, while the eastbound approach technically is less than 500 feet, the fact that they're turning, that they will be going an estimated slower speed, you know, 15 to 20 mile an hour, just having turned off of Main Street. And it said that would enable them to see a stop bus, especially one with flashing lights. And it goes on to say, ultimately, it's up to the school district to determine the feasibility of any bus stop. And he lists a section here, 75 p.m. I'm not going to read all that, but it says if the resident feels location is not safe, then they should raise the concerns with the school district so that they can consider another alternate location. So.
Thanks for the follow-up.
Any other unfinished business?
I have none.
All right, new business.
Just need that's another one. We got a request from Glenrock Borough on behalf of the Glenrock Hose and Ladder Company, requesting authorization for Seven Valleys Fire Company Fire Police to participate in any of those events that they have listed on this letter. So just need a motion, a second, to authorize the Seven Valleys Fire Police, should they be asked and should they want to do it.
Motion by Greg Bonus. Second by Greg Kiner. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do we have many fire police?
I don't really have any, do we?
All right.
know.
We don't have any?
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've shared the information with Albert, the fire chief, and you know, I don't know if they even get contacted, but
Because doesn't the mayor usually have to swear them in or something?
I do.
And you haven't sworn anybody in?
Well, I mean, I was at 2 meetings to swear the people that, the leadership, and I mean, at that time, I don't even know if they had all the leadership roles of the fire police being able to be filled. So, I mean, that would
Okay,
lead me to believe there's not many, if any.
okay.
There might be a captain, that's about it.
Thank you.
Street sweeping.
Just informational, New Freedom Borough is scheduled to do the street sweeping the morning of Wednesday, April 30th. I will have the newsletter out the middle of this month, so I'll make sure that's in there as well.
Yeah,
And
bang
put it
out
on the
on
website.
Facebook a couple times, maybe
Yeah.
right leading up to it.
Where will they dump them?
Based on what we've got in the last couple of years, they're probably going to take them back and take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maple Street.
Yeah, Maple Street, I know there was some discussion about when you get back past the sharp curve there where the vacant farm is. Maple Street's getting pretty grown up, low hanging limbs and so forth. So I did talk to the maintenance guys down at Shrewsbury Township, and we can do that work. It's estimated I'm going to say $1,992. It's just an estimate. But that includes, the dump truck, the chipper, the bucket truck, laborers, flaggers. Yeah. Yep. So.
Do we have to have permission from any of the landowners to do that? I mean, I'd be happy if they did it to me, but or at least notify them of the work.
I mean, we can notify them of the work, but I don't think we need their permission as long as it's in the road right away.
I would out of courtesy, let them know.
Right.
Or if some people want to trim it themselves.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, we do occasionally have somebody who likes a tree. I know it's not very often. I know if it was a chestnut tree, I wouldn't want anybody touching it but me, so.
What about while they're here? Is there anything on like South Street that would need attention? Since that's
That was trimmed a couple years ago. I don't know. I haven't looked at that. We can certainly take a look at it. It might be a couple, but I don't think that's not near anything like Maple Street is. So, but I'll make a note on that.
Is that something that they can possibly do before May 5th when they close the bridge down?
Well, I'll definitely make sure it does not happen while the bridge is closed. I'll put it like that. I won't guarantee it'll be before May 5th, but if it's not before May 5th, it'll be after the bridge is open.
Do you need anything to get that work?
Yeah, council should authorize that by
Any questions on
vote,
pricing
motion.
or anything like that?
I'll make a motion to move forward with Shrewsbury Township to do the tree trimming back on Maple Street.
Motion by Bill, second by Deb. All in favor? Opposed? All right. Any other new business?
No.
Treasurer's report. Everybody had a chance, seen it on email. Questions, comments? If nothing, I will take a motion to have the treasurer approve, accept, and file statement of audit and pay any regular bills that come in the next month.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Gary,
Oh, second.
second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm really questionable.
You are.
You mentioned someplace that we were gonna open a playground fund and we were not going to do it down here at Orrstown. What?
No, it will be Orrstown,
The Orrstown,
but I'm going to the Leader Heights branch
okay,
to do it.
that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Will we be closing the accounts that are in New Salem then? And changing?
I haven't thought about that or even talked anything to council about that. At this point in time, I plan on leaving those. And if I do go to change them to Leader Heights office, I'll certainly make sure I get council's blessing, but
The accounts stay the same.
You're staying the same.
yeah, it stays the same. It
You're
doesn't
just
matter.
doing
But
business at Leader's
yeah,
Heights.
I'm just going to be dealing with Leader Heights versus the New Salem branch.
I was just wondering, because you'd mentioned to Brandon that you'd be talking about it later, and I didn't see what you were gonna be talking about it later.
Be the secretary.
It's under secretary.
That's where it is. Thank you.
So we'll move on to the secretary's report. I think.
I have a long list, but it'll all be quick. First one is I just gave you some information. We got a pretty lengthy letter from the Cadorce Valley Area Historical Society. They're working on a mill database update. So it's just informational should you hear anything from any property owner that might be impacted in the borough. Two other things with H&H Contractors. We did get a price last year, if you remember, for the parking lot ceiling and the line painting. We decided to hold off on that because we weren't sure if we were going to do any parking lot expansion or not. So I did email Travis and ask him for an update on that. So I should have that next month. Also have a note here. I'm going to follow up with Travis. I did in the fall, if you recall, we have some of the paint peeling on the curbs from the painting last year. So I will follow up on that. I do have a request by email into MedEd to get a firm proposal to put the street light in here by the Cadorce Creek Bridge. Hopefully I have that next month. And then as far as Orrstown Bank, probably a lot of you deal with the Orrstown Bank, and it's been a rather interesting transfer of banking. Anyway, our checking account at the bank is going to go from a relationship business to a municipal interest checking, because the old one that they thought was equivalent to what we had before, you only had X amount of transactions. Well, we're paying more with our debit card, particularly related to like email, website things. So we won't have that issue anymore. But I'm also I'm looking into getting Pliget, which we deal with. That's where all of our general fund checks come out of, their P card, purchasing card. And if we get that, it works like a credit card, but it's an automatic withdrawal. And then we went out to deal with the People's Bank Visa debit card. So the new accounts that are being set up is the playground as well as the building fund. So the rent that we received so far, that'll get transferred into that to open that up. And the ambulance association, if everything goes as they hope it does, they're going to be paying their tax accountant, I believe next week. And as soon as that check clears, then they're going to close that fund and transfer it into the borough's building fund. And till they get everything paid, but they think it'll probably be around $35,000 to $40,000 that'll be transferred over. So that'll be happening here hopefully in the next month. And then the other thing is I'm still looking for someone to help with the weed spraying. If anyone knows of anyone, please send them my way. I remember last year just to talk to landscaping contractors, nobody wanted to bother with it. And the one we did end up getting, it just didn't work out real well. Yeah.
Could we put that, we're asking for somebody, could we put that in Brandon's newsletter? Or
Well, you could. I think you're going to have a spray license though. Yeah, that's the issue. Yeah. Now I am going to check. I didn't get a chance. Bill did question me, and I kind of actually forgot about it. But I'm going to check out the township to see. I know one of our guys has a spray license, but I don't know if it's public. He did have one, I know, for public right-of-ways, as well as parks. But I need to check to make sure he still has both of those. So I'll check on that. And I am done.
Anything for the secretary? Mayor's report?
Other than me and myself, Gary, and Zach attended the York County Boroughs Association quarterly meeting. I guess that was
Cheryl was there also.
Cheryl, yes, I'm sorry. Yes. On the 27th, very well attended. I think we, speakers, very interesting, the big one from the York Adams Tax Bureau, just interesting what they do for us. They collect our earned income taxes and distribute that to us monthly for all people that get it taken out. There's some things that I learned, especially, I didn't realize, they only collect for residents in the boroughs and municipalities that work in Pennsylvania, so they do not collect out of state. And, where those people may work, they do not collect their local income taxes and transfer it to Pennsylvania. So a lot of them, it's actually a responsibility of the taxpayer to pay them quarterly to the tax bureau. So they're taken out. They do say a lot of people don't realize that. It's not that they don't do it, it's just they don't realize that they're supposed to. They can help in that. They also, some big things, just in earned income taxes last year, they gave us a breakdown. We normally average anywhere from $45,000 to $50,000 a year in earned income taxes that is distributed to the borough through the York Adams Tax Bureau. Other than that, it was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. A lot of information and a lot of numbers. So if you like numbers, it's a place you can go. Their meetings are always open to, we have a member that's, can go to them. They want representation, they work for us. And that's, we have a member on their board. So, I don't know who our designated representative is. We have a week there. Yeah. I don't know if it's from the sprinklers, but, so they're, but a lot of interesting things. I don't know if I'm missing anything. Gary, Cheryl, Zach, on that.
Well, it's interesting because I talked to Todd after, but boroughs can actually ask the tax bureau for a list of names and addresses of people who pay. They won't tell you how much they pay, but that way you can check if there is anybody perhaps renting in the borough that is not paying, because, there's, that apartment house has no people paying taxes, and so you can kind of check on it that way. And if you do find something like that, the borough doesn't have to take care of it. The earned income tax will take care of it, and contact that person and let them know nicely that they should have been paying taxes for the last X number of years.
I guess the other thing I found very interesting is, they will do your local taxes, yearly taxes for you if you go in. It's quick and easy. They do them, if anybody has trouble, they're willing to help. That's what they're there for. I did find, so that's another service they provide to anybody that goes in there, which was kind of interesting. I was surprised, but, they have their system pretty dialed in, and, they can, you're in and out, they said, it's almost no pain, because their goal is, honestly, your yearly taxes. They don't want to owe you anything, and they don't want to be paid anything. It should even out to be almost zero.
And it was interesting because that this is the first year, as all of you know, that they did not send the tax form to each individual. It had to be done online. And so I asked if there was a problem with fewer people filing right away or earlier or whatever because of that. And they said, no, that actually more people filed because they could just do it online and didn't have to wait for something to arrive in the mail.
And
I guess I'm old.
Yeah. Other than that, we all saw the road, the bridge sign, the sign's misleading, but, when I talked to Josh last week, when that sign went up on Friday, from York County Parks, the maintenance or public works director, he did inform me at that time that, 4/21 was a very preliminary date, and now it does look like it has been pushed back till May 5th at least. Again, I know initially it was they were estimating 3 weeks, probably get it done in 2. Probably going to be full 3 weeks, he said.
They did have it on Channel 8 tonight.
Yes, I
and
did
they-
talk to them.
She said it
Yes.
won't be, she said May 4th.
But they called me as well today and they didn't really, again, they chose really not to bring up anything that I talked about, so. So again, we all know, I don't know the actual detour, I'm guessing it's going to probably be out and around, down to Glen Rock and up and around, but, we have to watch Maple Street with trucks, of course, and, point trucks, I mean, if they don't want to go the whole way around, LaRue Road's a state road, and it's not no truck route that way too, so. Other than that, Josh is supposed to keep me informed as they get closer and just about if anything changes.
Yeah, I did get a call today from the project manager for Kinsley. And he did tell me that they do plan to start May 5th. He told me the contract is for 5 weeks, but they do not anticipate it taking 5 weeks. But so you never know what you run into. But it's pretty involved because he said they actually will come. They have a company that's going to come and lift all the ties and the rails for a certain distance, and then they'll jack the bridge up and they'll do their pedestal repairs and everything, and they're going to actually heat the iron bridge to straighten that up, where the truck was hitting all that. So, and then they'll come back. I was thinking they were going to shift the bridge to line up the tracks, but they're not going to. They'll replace them and kind of, I guess it'll be a straight bend. How's that?
Are they gonna put a stop sign back then to keep these
That-
people from?
I honestly did see that, it looks like they did maybe they painted
It
something
looks
on
like
the
they-
roadway that could be a stop bar.
That's
Now,
what
I
it
don't-
looked like to me.
And I mean, that's a PennDOT thing, that's not part of this project, it's not my understanding, I'm assuming that's probably what that is for.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything more on that, but I saw that and I thought too, they were down the mark where they would probably put
I
the
know
stop
somebody
bar.
was state cop.
Yeah.
Was coming down and somebody, in other words, he wanted to come down and that somebody went through and didn't yield to him. And they could actually, that cop turned around and put the lights on. And
Wow,
I
that's a
said,
first.
I don't know, yeah. And that was my husband, yep, he said, I cannot believe that state cop turned around and went after him, so I don't know.
So, I mean, I imagine if the state puts a stop sign in, they're just gonna come and do it and not say anything, so. Other than that, I'm good.
Anything else from the mayor? Lean was still at 2. The sewer report.
The only thing I saw in that jumped out at me was they did put in that the cost of the replacement of the Valley Street line, if I remember, or the pump stations, if I remember, it's gonna be around $84,000.
And we have the one conditionally assigned EDU?
Yeah, that's the one, that's for 3537 Church Street.
Is that still,
Contingent on zoning
is that
approval.
still rolling?
No, for Landis. Earl Landis. That was just approved for 3 months. I did
Right.
send them the application for the variance, but I have not received it back yet. So
Did you get any contact from Mike Com?
I have not yet.
He
no.
called me on Friday and left a message, Sam got back to him, because they were not quite sure what zoning relief he needed, so I told him to give you a call.
Okay, I have not heard anything yet. no.
Okay.
I know Mike, so.
Anything else on the sewer report? Okay, Todd?
Did we?
No.
I'm sorry, did we do the treasurer's report?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mike?
Nope.
Sure. Doug? Gary? Mark? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Skip right here. I just apologize if you guys, anybody knows people that took your kids fishing here in the last 2 weeks or been down here in the last week or so. It was an ice out in February, so all the fish were put at 2 bridges. And if there's anything in between, I don't know, I think things cleaned up pretty good around here. There was a lot of people that pre-fished and like normal, but we'll try to do better in May. but now that the bridge is going to be worked on, they'll have a difficult time getting the truck down here to work with that.
It gets restocked in May.
It will be restocked next Monday, the 14th, from Centerville to LaRue, and the 7th from Maple Street to the fire hall.
All right, Mark, Greg, Jeff?
The only thing is my schedule will not allow me to be at the council meeting next month.
All right. Open back up for public comment.
7th.
City, Jessica Vallis again. This is for Gary, actually. I'm excited about this creek trail. What is the name of the group that meets? Is
So
it,
that's, well, it's through the York County Trail Towns program.
okay,
But, yeah, it's a very preliminary, and I guess it's very, like Gary said, it's very, it'd be unique to York County.
okay,
And it's modeled kind of after, I know, the Yellow Breaches access and what they have, because the engineer from HRG is, I guess, the Yellow Breaches pretty much creek steward, I guess you would call him. He pretty much did and designed all that, so he has a lot of experience in this, and I mean, sharing with Gary, like, I was surprised to learn that was actually feasible, because going into it, I did not think it was ever going to be a feasible thing.
Isn't that through your economic development?
And the Trail Towns program, yeah.
Yes, this started back in March of 2023. There's the original paper that they were looking at different things to improve the rail trail, different feasibilities on, like on signage and different things on the trail. They just highlighted areas that were of interest. And along with that, they have a thing for the creek access. So this whole thing went back for, almost 2 years now, or right at 2 years. And this thing was kind of in limbo for a while until they could get some people to walk the creek. Mike Runkle, I didn't get any information back from Mike, did you?
I have not. I'm waiting on, like I said, they're supposed to distribute their study to us, and I would like to make that available to the borough, well, through borough channels for everybody to review once we get that. There's some cleaning up of and with some, that they want to do before they distribute that out.
Mhm. They came here to the borough meeting about that time.
Before that, we actually walked around, but
Yeah.
actually they made that study off. of it
Yeah,
after we
and
did that
Dave
walk.
and what's Brandon. And they came here and they, at the time, asked if anybody was interested, and Doug and I, of course, some people can't, did not put their hand up, but then Mike Runkle got on board, and we had a decent crowd down there the first time at the trail.
Yeah, so.
But that was kind of like the whole beginning to the thing, and then this is something that they obviously they've been working on for 2 years now. So it's just gotten to the stage where they drew up some pictures, drew up a plan, and
Okay.
this is where they're going.
do you know how regularly they have meetings about it?
It's when something new comes up. It's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
a regular occurrence, and we try to, it's when something new happens again. This is a long-term thing that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think last year we met like, twice?
Yeah, it's a very long-term project,
Yeah, and I took,
or ideal, and let me put it that way, because I don't even know. It's definitely an ideal still, in the ideal stages and feasibility stages, I guess. It's a lot of it depends on private owners.
that's the downfall to it, yeah.
Okay,
Where there's not a big enough stretch of land where one person owns all the property and can take advantage of, what this would do for them and getting their name out there. Like, this is something I did years ago. I made a mark here. I opened my property up to this and just as quick as a program like that can start, it can be shut down because people can abuse it, people can trash it, people can, you know, it happens all the time. It happens more people post their land because of trash and garbage and people parking where they're not supposed to, than open it up. And, you know, nowadays people aren't real anxious to have hordes of people on their property. But stay inside the boundaries of the creek, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comment? All right. Meeting's adjourned.